Imagine this. A plane is hijacked, a museum loses hundreds of millions of dollars in art, and a killer sends coded messages to newspapers. Three completely different crimes, three massive investigations, and still, decades later, no final answer. These are three of the most famous unsolved cases in modern history. The first case is the D.B. Cooper hijacking. On November 24, 1971, a man using the name Dan Cooper boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. He looked ordinary, suit, tie, calm behavior. But during the flight, he handed a note to a flight attendant. He claimed he had a bomb. His demand was direct, $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. The plane landed in Seattle. The passengers were released. Cooper got the ransom money and the parachutes. Then the aircraft took off again, with only a small crew still on board. A little after 8 p.m., somewhere between Seattle and Reno, Cooper lowered the rear stairs of the plane. He strapped on a parachute, took the money, and jumped into the night. That was the last confirmed moment anyone ever saw him. The FBI investigated the case for decades. Hundreds of suspects were considered. Physical evidence was studied. The plane was searched. Witness descriptions were compared, but none of it led to a confirmed identity. One major clue appeared in 1980. A boy found a bundle of old $20 bills near the Columbia River. The serial numbers matched part of Cooper's ransom money, but instead of solving the case, that discovery created even more questions. Did Cooper survive the jump? Did he die in the wilderness? Did someone else find the money later? Or did he manage to escape one of the most intense manhunts in American history? Even the name D.B. Cooper is part of the mystery. The man used the name Dan Cooper. The initials D.B. became famous because of a media mistake. The FBI eventually redirected its active resources away from the case, but the mystery remains. One man boarded a plane, demanded a fortune, jumped into darkness, and disappeared. The second case is the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist. On March 18, 1990, 2 men dressed as police officers arrived at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. They got inside, restrained the guards, and spent more than an hour inside the building. When they left, 13 works of art were gone. The stolen pieces included works connected to some of the biggest names in art history: Vermeer, Rembrandt, Manet, and Degas. Today, the missing works are valued at hundreds of millions of dollars. Some estimates put the total value at around $500 million. But what makes this case even stranger is what was left behind. Some extremely valuable pieces were ignored. Some stolen works were cut from their frames. Other choices seemed almost random. Investigators have spent decades asking the same question. Was this a professional art theft, or was it a rushed robbery that accidentally became the biggest art heist in history? The stolen works have never been recovered. The empty frames still hang in the museum, not as decoration, but as evidence. They are a public reminder that the case is still open and the art is still missing. The museum has offered a $10 million reward for information leading to the recovery of the stolen works in good condition. The FBI and investigators have followed leads for years, including possible links to organized crime. But the paintings have not returned, and that is the most frustrating part of the Gardner heist. Art like this is almost impossible to sell publicly. These pieces are too famous. The second they appear, the world would recognize them. So where are they? Hidden in a private collection? Destroyed? Passed through criminal networks? Sitting in storage somewhere while someone keeps silent? No one knows for sure. The third case is the Zodiac Killer. In the late 1960s, Northern California was shaken by a series of attacks. The attacks were linked to a person who called himself the Zodiac. Investigators officially connected him to 5 confirmed victims, although he claimed responsibility for many more. But the reason the Zodiac case became so famous was not only the crimes, it was the communication. He sent letters to newspapers. He included symbols, threats, and coded messages. He wanted attention, he wanted fear, and he wanted the public to know his name. Some of his ciphers were solved. One of the most famous, known as the 340 cipher, remained unsolved for more than 50 years. Then, in 2020, a team of codebreakers finally cracked it, but the solution did not reveal his identity. That is why the Zodiac case remains so disturbing. The messages gave investigators clues, but never the one clue everyone wanted most: a confirmed name. Over the decades, many suspects have been discussed. The most famous is Arthur Lee Allen, a man often linked to the case in books, documentaries, and films. But suspicion is not proof. His identity as the Zodiac Killer has never been confirmed. The case has become a symbol of how difficult cold cases can be. There were letters, there were fingerprints, there were witness descriptions, there were suspects, there was national attention, and still no confirmed answer. So when you look at these 3 cases together, they all have one thing in common. D.B. Cooper disappeared from a plane with ransom money. The Gardner Museum thieves walked away with priceless art that has never resurfaced. The Zodiac Killer sent messages to the public and still avoided confirmed identification. Different crimes, different decades, different investigations, but the same ending: unanswered questions. And that is what keeps these cases alive. Because somewhere, there may still be one missing piece. One object, one document, one confession, one person who knows what really happened. happened. Until that appears, these three cases remain open in the public imagination: a hijacker who vanished into the night, a museum robbery with empty frames still waiting, and a killer whose name may still be hidden behind one of the most infamous signatures in crime history. The question is, which of these cases do you think is most likely to be solved one day? If you like this video, please subscribe.